Well, Altimmune bucking the biotech sell-off over the past month, soaring 30% in that time, while the XBI Biotech ETF is down slightly. The company now gearing up to put its experimental obesity drug to the test in a phase 3 trial, also set to give more data on how it can treat MASH liver disease in early 2025. For more, we're joined by Altimmune CEO Vipin Garg. Vipin, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
That drug, pemvidutide, if I can say it, if you can sort of give us an overview, it's now just entering phase 3, and as I understand it, it'll be 5,000 subjects across 4 different sort of trials that will explore different attributes of the drug. Can you give us a status report on where that stands now?
Absolutely. So as you said, pemvidutide, or we call it PEMV for short, it's a dual agonist that combines GLP-1 with glucagon. And the benefit of that is that in addition to appetite suppression, which is produced by GLP-1, glucagon is acting as increasing energy expenditure. As a result, we are able to get a better lipid profile in these patients. See, the whole obesity market, as it evolves, it's going to be more about not just about weight loss, but what else do you bring to the table? What are the comorbidities of obesity that you're able to treat? And that's where pemvidutide shines because of the glucagon component in the drug. It's having direct effect in the liver. It is defatting the liver. At the same time, the serum lipids are improving and blood pressure, all of which are risk factors for cardiovascular disease. So people really don't die of obesity. It's the cardiovascular disease that has to be treated in order to improve outcomes in these patients. And the way we've designed our 4 trials in our phase 3 program really reflect those benefits of pemvidutide. These trials are specifically designed to take advantage of glucagon component of the drug.
Can we also talk about preserving lean muscle mass, because that is, a major complaint, particularly in older people who might be more susceptible to losing lean muscle mass. That's more of a problem, particularly if your bones are weakening. In phase 2, you had some very interesting results. 50 patients were in phase 2, but 21.9% of the weight loss there was attributed to lean muscle mass. But that compares to a lean muscle mass loss of up to 40% in Wegovy at the end of 68 weeks, which is a longer period of time. But still, can you talk to us about how that compares, PEMV compares to sort of the other drugs out there that are trying to not make you lose lean muscle mass, the myostatin inhibitors? How are they different?
So people are talking about combining different therapies. Here, what we are doing by adding glucagon, we are already getting that benefit, because what glucagon is doing, it is increasing energy expenditure and actually turning the metabolism to fat burning rather than protein or carbohydrate burning. So as a result, we are losing more fat mass as opposed to losing protein mass and carbohydrates. And that has knock-on effect. The benefit is that we're seeing class-leading lean mass preservation. This is really important in people over 60 years of age, in postmenopausal women, as well as in people with sarcopenia. A large number of patients will benefit from a drug like this. And really, we don't need to combine 2 drugs to get the same effect. We can, with the same drug, we can get preservation of lean muscle mass.
In your earnings call, Vipin, somebody in management said that you're going to need a commercial partner to commercialize the drug. And so I'm wondering how you think about that roadmap and what that partnership could look like for you.
Yeah, so our strategy is to secure a partnership around obesity. As far as MASH and other indications are concerned, we are moving full speed ahead with those. And those discussions, those developments are moving forward. So ultimately, in order to commercialize in a large obesity space, we are going to need a partner, and we are seeking that.
Will you be independent in this partnership, or does this partnership include the possibility of being bought?
Well, there are many different ways these partnerships can be structured. It's hard to define that ahead of time, but depending upon how the partnership comes together, our goal is to find a partner that can bring full value to the asset, both obesity, MASH, and other indication. If it's just obesity, then it'll be a partnership. But if it's the whole molecule, it could be a different kind of structure.
Okay. Vipin, thank you. Vipin Garg of Altimmune.